Well, a very good afternoon to you. And like you rightly put it, that the NLM presidential candidate, that's Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is today campaigning in his own office or residence of his office, which is Entebbe Municipality. And you can say Wakisa at large because he's also supposed to be in Kampala here. But from yesterday, of course, there have been a lot of processions on the road, the jubilation that Entebbe people also want to show while welcoming him. I can confirm that this is a residence where he has an official office, and that is the State House. And he's always here. So he has come to meet his people here. But of course, among the things that people are pressing as needs is expectations of what the president should talk about when he comes to this place here. Being known that Entebbe was the first colonial capital of the country, the infrastructure in this place has of course partly been developed. I can tell you that under his stewardship as president, Entebbe Municipality was able, or Entebbe at large was able to expand the international airport and quite giving it a shape. But as that also comes in as development, people were also raising another need or submitting another need that when the president comes, he should talk about the Kigungu Road. That's the road that goes around the airport from the UN base up to Kigungu, which is under Maram. And of course, when it's dry season, you'll see a lot of dust. When it's rainy season, you'll see a lot of potholes here. And Entebbe people are saying that when he comes, he should talk about that because that's the welcoming place for the country. It's a welcome, it's the face of the country. And they say that that road should be tarmacked. When you look at Entebbe, which is a peninsula, which has about 100,000 people here, about 55 to 60% of those survive on Lake Victoria by fishing. It has one of the biggest landing sites. When you look at Kigungu, there is also one here in Katabe Kasinyi, one of the landing sites that the country, of course, uses to export fish, especially for foreign earnings. But the people there, the community, the fishing community feels they have not been paid attention, even when the president, of course, has had the fisheries protection unit on the lake. Some of them said they were never guided well to stay on the lake, and they have had to cease the job that they well know. So they also expect him to talk about that. That is under the stewardship of President Museveni. Entebbe community was, of course, part of the rest of the country that received the parish development model money, the women livelihood fund, among others. But they still say there is a section of people that also didn't receive that money. So they want a consideration, a special consideration, that Entebbe should have been an example of all the municipalities across the country. Last time when there were plans to elevate Entebbe municipality to a city, there were controversies, and that didn't happen. But the leaders are saying that even if Entebbe remains a municipality, it can become a model municipality with the best roads, with the best infrastructure when you talk about that. But also when you look at schools, the UN base is here in Entebbe, and the leaders are saying that most of the people who work in the UN have now had to relocate to Lubowa and the other places. The reason why is that because some of the infrastructure in Entebbe does not support them. For example, Entebbe does not have international schools. If somebody is maybe having a short contract work with the UN, they have there maybe children who may want to be in an international school, so that in case they're being transferred, the education standards remain the same. So Entebbe does not have, and many of them have had to relocate to Lubowa, the international hospital. If you look at health-wise, I can say Entebbe has the regional referral hospital, but it has also had its own challenges. Last time you saw when COVID came, it was a key and icon treatment center, but it was still lacking. It had no oxygen plant. It had enough beds to accommodate the people. Some of them were being admitted in tents. So Entebbe people are also saying that when the president comes, it's one of those things that they would want to see him talk about. And away from that, also infrastructure, connecting Entebbe to the outskirts. There's always been an outcry that government should build the Buwaya Nachuogo bridge that is connecting Entebbe to Mpiji and the rest. People are saying that if someone is in Entebbe and wants to go to Masaka, Mbarara, Kavale, wherever, there would be no reason. There is no reason why someone should go to Kampala first of all in the jam before they connect. And they're asking that. That has been promised over time. And when the president comes, he should talk about the progress of that promise. How far has it gone? Or he will merely just look over it. And also the other community, which is the Bush community, it is just behind the airport. There is a big community there. It has no connectivity. Last time the Minister for Works and Transport, that's General Katumba Wamala, came and made a pledge that government was going to give them a ferry that would also help them, because that community is what feeds Entebbe. Entebbe being a peninsula and being of course an urban place does not have places where agriculture is being carried out. So they rely on the food from the islands of Kalangala through the ferry, also Busi, like I earlier said. So they're saying that at least if they're doing agriculture, like government emphasizes, but transporting them to Entebbe is still a big challenge. So when the president comes, they also expect him to talk about some of these things here. Garbage management in the city. So last time when the Kitez landfill happened, the only run-to place was here in Entebbe, and that tested its capacity, of course, that as population keeps growing, there is no enough facility where garbage can be dumped and maybe perhaps worked on, processed to become another raw material that it can harness money from. So those are some of the things, of course, that the Entebbe people are expecting, and the leaders are saying that when the president comes, those are very key and icon when he's making his speech. And when he talks about them, maybe we will come back in our subsequent bulletins of NTV Akaongezi and NTV Tonight to give a better report, unless you have another question.